Welcome to Creating Sacred Space in Our Lives. I am Tripp Martin, the pastor of Auburn First Baptist Church at the corner of College and Glen in Auburn, Alabama. During this Lenten season, we're thinking about the spirituality of walking. That what do we gain when we take a walk through the neighborhood or through the woods or along the beach? How does it help us connect with God's presence that we find in this world? And if you've ever taken a walk or a hike, you might have found yourself feeling like you are walking in circles, that we can get turned around and we're not sure which way to go. Should we go left? Should we take a right? We wonder to ourselves, have we walked by that tree before? It looks awfully familiar. And we think, oh goodness, we must be walking in circles. That it's a helpless feeling. Feeling as if you are staying in one place even though you are trying to moving on. That we can get uncertain and tired. But walking in circles is a part of the journey of faith, that sometimes we can only find our way by getting lost. Throughout Scripture, this is called the wilderness. Like after the Exodus from Egypt, the people fled oppression only to face the wilderness. 40 years of finding their way, struggling to find food and water, relying on manna in the morning. That feelings of despair and hope can come and go throughout that kind of experience. But it was in the wilderness that the people discovered who they were. They discovered a clearer understanding of who God is. We also find Jesus in the wilderness. It's part of why we observe Lent for 40 days, where Jesus, after his baptism and before his ministry started, faced temptation in the wilderness, and it shaped who he was and his ministry and calling. That we can find our way by getting lost. It's like moving to a new town, that we can look at the map before we leave the house or follow the GPS directions in the car, but it's not until we find ourselves turned around and lost, and where we have to drive around to figure out our way, to when we finally know our way around. That until we get lost and have to explore and find our way in a new place, we don't yet know our way around. That walking in circles can help us discover who we are and what the most important things in life are about. Jesus called the disciples, saying, "Follow me." And they set out to learn the way of love and grace and justice. But they didn't always know which way those things would take them. That faith is a pilgrimage. And a pilgrimage, or a journey, always has an element of wandering. That sometimes we have a destination in mind. Even when we set out to take a walk, we might go out our driveway and take a left, go down to the main hub of the neighborhood, past the Martins and the Smith's house, and then we take a right and so on and so forth. But as we take a walk, inevitably, whether it is familiar to us or not, there are things that we might notice or discover along the way. There might be the need to take a detour, that someone left their dog out in the front yard and they are barking a little too loud and we're a little too nervous, so we take a right turn we don't normally take. That there's always wandering involved on every journey. There's always unknowns and detours. It's like the hymn, the Christmas carol, I Wonder as I Wander. It's by John Jacob Niles, where it says, I wonder as I wander out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come for to die. For poor, ordinary people like you and like I wonder as I wander out under the sky. That on that first Christmas, Joseph and Mary were on a journey to Bethlehem. They went because of the calling for a census, and there was some wandering involved, trying to find a place where Jesus could be born. There was uncertainty and anxiety. But like that journey, every time we take a walk, every time we look for the path of our faith, it is full of wonder, discovery, and awe, and wandering. At times that can feel like we are walking in circles. But wandering can help us see things we haven't seen before. Because when we only have the destination in mind and we can travel in a straight line to it, we don't see as much along the way. We don't discover as much. But sometimes it is in feeling lost that we find our way. Like a walk through our neighborhood, that we meet a new neighbor we did not know before. We see the beauty of God's creation around us, even though we've driven past it every time we leave the neighborhood. That God's grace has a way of surprising us. A labyrinth has been one way the church has practiced the spirituality of walking. At first glance, it looks like a maze, even though it is not. But it moves in a circular type pattern, winding back and forth as it takes us to the very center of the labyrinth. And then we take the path back out from the center, returning to our lives. That it's a way in which the church has practiced prayer or focusing on the love of Christ, which we find at the center of our lives. So this type of walking teaches us how we might practice walking as a spiritual discipline in our lives, remembering that the path of faith does not always move in straight lines. It winds back and forth and leads us in new and unexpected ways. One other reason the labyrinth moves in a circle is, as Travis Scholl writes, because evil can only move in a straight line. Whether that is grabbing at power or the knee-jerk reaction of jealousy or the quick judgment of prejudice, that evil moves in straight lines. So faith leads us in circles where there are always bends and turns in the road. It might remind us of the people of God after the Exodus, that they moved in bends and turns and circles, discovering who they were and God's faithfulness to them. Or it might remind us of Jesus in the wilderness after his baptism, not moving in a straight line, directly starting his ministry, but walking in circles, just for a brief moment, in a way that would shape him for his calling and his ministry, that gave him strength and clarity of purpose. When we walk in circles, we can certainly feel lost. It can leave us uncertain and anxious. But sometimes that is the moment where we discover who we are, where we clarify where we would like to go, where we look to something bigger than ourselves for support and grace. But sometimes it is in walking in circles that we lean into God's presence the most, that we start to wonder as we wander. And that might surprise us, because it's not easy to walk in circles. But there are moments when we are walking in circles where the grace of God finds us. Let us pray. Gracious God, we are thankful that you go with us and that you stay beside us. Whenever we feel as if we are walking in circles in this life, frustrated and tired, may you give us a new sense of your grace that surrounds us. May you help us look out on the horizon and find your light before us. May you renew our energy and stir our spirits for the journey ahead. In those moments, may we remember who we are, who you have called us to be, and how you are faithful to us. That as we walk in circles, as we feel lost, may those be the moments where we find our way. Amen. If you would like to know more about Auburn First Baptist Church, you can find that at auburnfbc.org.